Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Chris Fishback. I am a Subaru Master Technician here at Raritan Subaru. And this is going to be the start of an awesome YouTube channel video series. Just doing engine builds, stuff on the side. And yeah, let's get started on this engine build. First project of the channel, we got a 2015 Subaru Forester XT that is getting a full engine rebuild. Picked it up from a friend of mine that I know. It had a snapped timing chain. During the teardown, wasn't really able to pinpoint an exact cause of the failure. You don't really see very many of these Subaru engines that have a snapped timing chain. Usually it's typically it's usually a rod through the top of the block, so it's a pretty interesting failure, but wasn't able to determine what exactly caused the issue. The oil looked good, the inside of the engine wasn't super sludgy or anything, engine was full of oil when I acquired it. But yeah, after the engine teardown, I just determined that yeah, it had two slightly bent intake valves and wasn't running. So that's what we're doing today. We're replacing some intake valves. I decided while the engine was out and apart, since it had 180,000 miles, that was going to replace the connecting rod bearings and the piston rings. So we're just cleaning the upper oil pan right now to prep the motor to get new rings and new bearings. We've already got the pistons all cleaned and prepped for new rings, and then we're going to be running some ACL race series bearings in the engine. And here's our piston ring gap, right on spec at 0.2 millimeters. And we're off doing piston rings. We have our expander upper ring and lower ring, the second and then first compression rings. Service manual states we got to start with the expander ring first. Next is the lower rail. These ones are nice. Can you just do them by hand? Make sure they're clocked correctly. Sometimes I like to use a pick just to align everything up. Alright, and then the top ring goes down here. And for the compression rings, you want to use one of these. Clock that here. And we've already checked the ring gap, and that's all good. For the top ring, you want to make sure that the letters are facing up. And do 180 degrees opposite of the second ring. There we go. Rings are fitted. I have to do that 3 more times. Alright, let's install some rod bearings. Oops. I always like to put a little bit underneath the bearing. Alright, and we'll do that 4 more times. And we're going to install the pistons now. Those ring lands nice and packed with oil. Alright, and make sure our rings are oriented right. And we'll also add some assembly lube to the crank. We're going to be doing cylinders 2 and 3 at the same time. never have too much lube. I'm going to start with cylinder 2. Make sure the rod is facing the right way. And there's a line properly. Give it a couple love taps. Alright, and we'll get our cap. Put some oil on these threads. Get our socket. And next we'll get our torque wrench. And torque spec is a two-step process. First we'll torque them to 10 newton meters and then 25. Make sure that one spins nice and free. Very smooth. And then we'll do that 3 more times. And with that, all the pistons are in. You can spin the crank. Everything rotates nice and smooth. Next, we'll get the upper and lower oil pans bolted. And next thing is the upper oil pan assembly. These O-rings tend to fail on higher miles cars, and you'll have oil mixing with your coolant, and that's never a good thing. Always make sure your mating surface is nice and clean. $18 Nm for the upper pan. And then I always double check all the bolts. And pickup tube and lower pan are next. And next is the pickup tube. And lastly, we got our lower oil pan. Again, always just make sure that mating surface is nice and clean and dry, so that silicone can stick. Alright, and that's pretty much it for part one. Thanks for watching, guys. Next week we're going to be rebuilding the cylinder heads, pulling out all the valves, slapping all the valve seats, replacing all the valve seals, and just doing an overall overhaul on both of the cylinder heads, replacing a couple intake valves that were bent due to the snap timing chain like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Again, thanks guys. We'll catch you later.